Grandma's Angels again, coming to you with another new message. And today I'd like to talk to you about genealogy. Okay, I thought, well, we've got this downtime at home. Everybody's supposed to stay home because of the virus. This is such a fun and wonderful project that you could be working on at home. And as your family comes together and you guys talk to one another, you can learn a lot about one another that you don't think about on a daily basis. But let me tell you a little bit about my family and how you can do this. I'm going to do this in 2 separate episodes, okay? The first one I want to talk about is my grandmother. She is the light of my life. I had her until I was 15 and a half years old when she passed away. But love she gave to all of her grandchildren. She never withheld her love from us, and she showered us with all love every time we saw her. So she's a wonderful lady, and I try to model my life after her. Anyway, so let's get going. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about my grandmother first, and then I'm going to show you some things that you can do. So at a very young age, my grandmother came from the Nazi-ridden ruling territories of Europe, which part was Czechoslovakia. It was called Czechoslovakia in those days. Today they call it Czech Republic. And she had dreams of having a better life in the United States of America. So she came over by herself at a young age and landed at the Rasmussen port in New York City. She migrated her way to Chicago, Illinois, settled there, and that's where she raised her family. Well, with the intent of making some money to send back to Czech Republic because they were very, very poor. She worked hard. She bought snowsuits for her family members back in Czech Republic and sent them to them and sent them money. They never got it. The German Nazis confiscated everything that she sent to them, and they never got the money or the snowsuits that she sent to them. They were stolen by the Germans. Anyway, her life went on, and here I am. I'm her grandchild. So it's a very painful story, but she ended up living in Chicago and made her life there and everything. But now I want to show you, this is what you need to do. On these sites that I've got behind me, Ancestry.com and FamilySearch.org, you can get into those sites on the internet and pull up something like this. How do I start my family history? Okay, on the back of this, it has the family search chart, where it specifically tells you your name, your father's name, your mother's name, and you start your 2 lines of lineage. Okay? This is another one of the family search that is like this here. So you can see right here, you start with you first. And then you learn about your father, you ask him questions, and you learn about your mother. Find out whatever they know. And but like I said, I was 15 and a half when my grandmother passed away. I wished I had asked her a whole lot more questions than I did. I know a lot more about her than I do. And I do know some things about her, but I know that there's a wealth of information that I'm missing because I didn't ask her questions. So children, my episode here is to get you to talk to your parents, talk to your aunts and uncles, talk to your grandparents. If your great-grandparents are still alive, oh my goodness, talk to them. Ask them questions. Ask them about their childhood. Ask them what their hardship was. Ask them what their talents were. Ask them what they did for a living. How did they survive? What was their religious beliefs? What did they believe politically? You can ask them all kinds of questions, and you're going to learn so much about your family history. Okay? Here's a pedigree chart that you can also get off of the internet. And again, you start with yourself first, okay? You always start with yourself. Like when I started my genealogy pedigree chart, I started with myself first. Then I looked up my father, I looked up my mother, and I went to those relatives that were still living, and I asked them questions about their life. And so I learned things about them. And it's very exciting to do. It's something you can do right in your own home with your own family, and you get talking. There's things about your parents that you don't know, and your grandparents and your great-grandparents and your aunts and uncles and your cousins. So ask them questions. It's a fun project. I'm sure you would love it and get into it, because once you start it, it's very exciting. Okay, and I'd like to see you kids do something productive while you're home at this time and you can't go out and socialize with your friends or go to school or anything. This is a perfect project to start working on, okay? I'm going to do a second episode on this here, and I'm going to tell you stories about these two pictures here. But I'm going to save that for the next one, because these are stories that I learned. But again, I'll tell you next time. And this is my parents when they got married in 1945. So how beautiful here. And these are cousins of mine and my grandmother again. And this is a picture again of my beautiful grandmother. Her name was Mary, and I love her very much. And I want you kids to make that connection with your parents, your grandparents, your great-grandparents too. You'll carry that love in your heart the rest of your life. And just learning about them, you'll learn more about yourself, why you are who you are, and why you have the feelings you have, and why you have the talents that you have. So learn these things about your family, and do this while you're home. Okay, children? So I thought this might help you have this little project. And go online and look up Ancestry.com and FamilySearch.org. They're free. You don't pay for them at all. Look it up and see how you get started, and then just do it. Have fun with it. All right, children. Remember to always be your best you and be kind to others. And I will see you again soon on the second part of this episode, okay, on Genealogy Family Search. All right. Love you. Bye-bye.